What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Sci Fi Bookery. This is Short Story Sunday. You can look for videos every Sunday, and it's a series that I wanted to start doing because I like reading short stories. I think it's an art form in and of itself to be able to write a short story, to tell a story concisely with action and drama and suspense, and I think it's a brilliant art form for those who can do it properly. So I'm going to showcase some short stories once a week for as long as I want to do it. I don't know. Or maybe not once a week. So every Sunday, check back. And if there's not a video, I don't know what to tell you. I kind of, ebb and flow with feelings. So that's how that works. This week is the adventure of the Misplaced Hound, and it's from this book right here, which is one that I've recommended to a lot of people. This is Sherlock Holmes Through Time and Space. It is edited by Isaac Asimov, Martin Harry Greenberg, and Charles G. Wall. And it is a collection of short stories written by science fiction writers, and they're not all retellings, but they're all stories featuring Sherlock Holmes. So this, y'all know Sherlock Holmes is my favorite. So this is really near and dear to me because it's a crossover. It's science fiction and Sherlock Holmes. So I absolutely love it. But this week's book, I'm sure there'll be more out of this for Short Story Sundays in the future. This week, I wanted to showcase The Adventure of the Misplaced Hound, and it is by the great Poul Anderson and the I would say greater, maybe, Gordon R. Dickson, two legends of sci-fi and fantasy, and they combined to create a really fun story. Gordon Dickson, known for his sort of like lighter writing, more, I guess you could call it comedic at times. I know a lot of people don't understand his comedy. I love it. It's sarcastic. It's very dry. A lot of people, it just doesn't land with them, and that's fine. I mean, he has a lot of those like stop action comedic moments, similar to like modern Marvel movies or Star Wars, where it'll be a very dramatic scene or something will happen, and then a character will just kind of like drop something or be out of character. And there's a lot of those moments in this short story. So what it is it's two investigators, and they're from the IBI, which is the Interstellar Bureau of Investigation. I assume it's based on FBI, but anyways, they're from Earth, and they're tracking a drug smuggler, like a drug kingpin kind of character, across intergalactic places, and they wind up at this planet. They track them down to this planet, and it's inhabited by a race of creatures called the Hoka. Hoka. Could be hookah? No, it's definitely Hoka. Haka? Hakai? I don't know. Anyways, it's I was pronouncing it Hoka, so that's how you should pronounce it too. So it is the Hoka is this group, and they're short, hairy creatures. I was envisioning kind of like a troll sort of a creature in there. And what happened was, years and years ago, Earth brought a massive amount of Victorian literature to this planet and gave it to the Hoka. And since then, they basically terraformed their planet, changed everything about it, names of places, all of it, to reflect these characters and stories from the Victorian era books that they read. So this island on the planet is now called England, and the main city there is called London, and the entire island is based on Sherlock Holmes books, which is, to me, sounds like such a cool thing. So the Hoka, they know that it's not real. They purposely did this. So they're playing characters, which makes it even more fun. So they get there, and it's like they just dropped into Victorian London, and everything is out of Sherlock Holmes novels. So for Sherlock Holmes fans, for Sherlockians, I don't know what people are called anymore. I call it Sherlock Holmes. Sherlockians. Let's go with Sherlockians because that sounds more foreign and interesting. For Sherlockians, stupid word. there's a lot of Easter eggs and callbacks to stories, but this particular story is a retelling with a twist of Hound of the Baskervilles. And I know I'm like basic white guy here, but Hound of the Baskervilles is my favorite Arthur Conan Doyle novel. And I think that this really did it justice. You know, it's obviously the most famous Sherlock Holmes story. Everybody knows it. Even if you haven't read it, you know Hound of the Baskervilles. This is such a brilliant retelling, but it's kind of cool because it's like you're reading it as if you're watching a play, because all of the Hoka that are in it, the Hoka that is impersonating Sherlock Holmes, there's even a Lestrade character in here who's actually a human who's been assigned to the planet to sort of like oversee all of this. So he's in there, but he's playing Lestrade, but he's not. He's just he's like a cop. And then there's, there's Baskerville himself, and there's innkeepers, and there's all the characters from the novel. However, there's no Watson. So once they meet the little Harry Sherlock Holmes, or the character who's playing Sherlock Holmes, there's also a Mrs. Hudson in it. It's great. You're going to love it. Once they meet the Sherlock Holmes character, he instantly calls one of the investigators Watson. So he plays Dr. John Watson through the whole story, and he doesn't like it. He's not happy about it, but he knows that he needs to do that in order to catch this drug smuggler that they're after. And it's funny because, like I said, there's some of those out of character things where the Hokas, they know that it's an act. So every now and then they'll drop character and they'll lose their accent, their English accent or anything like that, or kind of like fall out of character. And another one of them will pick it back up and they'll be like, hey, you're not doing your bit. And they're like, oh yes, oh, I'm so sorry. And they'll get back into character. So it's really fun. The action and excitement in this is constant. It's a page turner. It was only like 20 pages in this, kind of book. You can see how big all the words are and stuff. So it's a relatively short story, nice quick read, and it's fun. It's action packed. Like I said, there's lots of comedy. I haven't read enough Poul Anderson to really understand the parts that he brought into this, but you can hear Gordon R. Dickson in this story for sure, particularly with the comedy and with the character development, the introspective character development, I guess, like what the characters are thinking and stuff like that. You can really hear Dickson's writing in it. So I'd recommend it. It is collected in Sherlock Holmes Through Time and Space, and the story is the Adventure of the Misplaced Hound. Lots of fun, lots of good stuff there. So this has been the, what am I calling it? Short Story Sunday. So happy Sunday, everybody. It's Short Story Sunday, and thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.